Welcome back, everybody, to the Oshay Vlogcast. As you know, I'm your host, Oshay Jackson. I was supposed to have a show with MGTOW Knowledge Darius, but for whatever reason, I haven't gotten in contact with him. But one of my YouTubers that I've been watching, hearing off, did contact me, and he's a very powerful Black community YouTuber, just like I am. He is a part of the Black conscious community. Many of you know him, should have heard about him. He has an awesome channel with almost 40,000 subscribers. That's the one, the only Brother Sanchez. What's going on, Bro Sanchez?
What's going on, my brother Oshay? I'm just glad to be here, man. I've been trying to get up with you for a minute, so yeah, I'm glad, bro.
I'm actually glad to have you, man. We've been talking. Maybe I think a few months ago I reached out to you, and you reached out back to me, and we kind of missed one another, but I'm glad to have you on the show, man. You have a lot of powerful things to say, teaching a lot of flat earth and speaking on a lot of the hard topics in the conscious community. But this is going to be an educational video for me because I am one person that doesn't know a lot about the conscious Black community, and maybe a lot of my followers don't. Let's talk about what the conscious Black community is and what's your part in it and why you got a part of it, and kind of, talk about your history with it and how you come to be a part of
it. Okay, yeah. When I first got introduced to what we call the Black conscious community, I was a Christian, typical knucklehead running the streets. I'm from Alabama, country boy, we did a lot of crazy stuff. So and it's crazy because that's the Bible Belt. And the first thing that introduced me to, I was actually in a trap house, man. Me and a bunch of mo-cats. And I'm up here with gangsters, man, killers, all of this, drug dealers. And we ended up in a trap house with the PS3. And we got this thing plugged up to the internet. And we had a rap group and everything, kind of popular. And make a long story short, we was looking up a lot of stuff about Illuminati and secret societies. And one day in that trap house, man, we stumbled across a guy named Ray Hagins, Pastor Ray Hagins. I don't know if, yeah. And Ray Hagins, man, blew us away with a video called The Council of Nicaea. And he was talking about like Jesus was created by Constantine and all of this. So through Ray Hagins, all of us in that trap house, man, I'm talking about it's a bunch of gangsters up here, people knocking on the door trying to get stuff, and we mad like, yo, we trying to watch this Ray Hagins. So you got these street cats, got their minds open to this information. But Ray Hagins actually ended up being an outcast of the Black conscious community. To make a long story short, Oshay, through Ray Hagins, we ended up getting a lot of more videos, through recommendations. So I ended up getting on with the Sarnettas, Oshay Vlogcast. I actually spoke with Oshay Vlogcast, and I actually got into the Black conscious community hard. There's not a video I didn't watch, and I got into the knowledge. It's a lot of good stuff they teach, but what I found out is just like the Christian church, and this is no offense to any religious person, it's forbidden to question. And anything that's forbidden to question was always a turn off for me. Even as a child, I questioned the hell out of my pastors and teachers. I was a headache. So when I got in the Black conscious community, my over questioning made me a coon. And I was rejected, not because I did something wrong, but because I challenged traditional beliefs of the Black conscious community. So I'm a part of the Black conscious community, but not in a good way. I'm one of those guys who are responsible for stealing millions of quote unquote followers from channels like Sarnetta and the likes. Most of my followers are ex-Black conscious community people.
Let me ask you this. Just hold on, Echo. So what I did was I muted your muted you real quick. So when you come back, just talk. But let me ask you this, because what you said was you were challenging ideas about the Black conscious community. What were some of the ideas you were challenging? that they didn't like? So take yourself off of mute so that way you're not echoing.
Oh, okay, no problem. I don't know how my audio quality is over here. I got a lot of ACs running, but some of those questions that I was challenged, a lot of the teachers, was the origin of white people was one of them. Now, that one is the main one that got me called a coon, because I did a lot of research and found out that one of the biggest deceptions was that white people come from monkeys. Now, that's a belief that's actually never been proven, and I easily debunked it on my channel in a video, but I don't want to go too long in it. I'm willing to debate that with anybody. People say I'm taking up for white people when I'm just attempting to seek the truth. I ask black people, where did white people come from? And I get things like the Yaqub story. And to me, these things are pseudoscience. A lot of things about aliens and Anunnaki, and it's a lot of pseudoscience in the black conscious community, that things that just can't be proven. And I mean, I challenge the hell out of it, and I get called a coon, but what's really, I'm a threat to a lot of people's money, because they have a lot of books and DVDs and that stuff written about stuff they can't prove. So that's me in a nutshell, but much love to the black conscious community.
Let me ask you this, because you've been, and I kind of got the feeling from listening to some of the things that you were saying was very different from what I heard from Sonetta. Some of the things was very different from what I heard from Sarah Suki Seti. So what is the problem with the black conscious community, and you're ex-Christian? What are some of the other problems that you see that you feel that need to be fixed?
Well, I think some of those problems that need to be fixed, first of all, is we have more pride than progress. We have more ignorance than intuition. We have more leaders than teachers. We have more followers than students. And we have more pseudoscience than facts. I can go on and on to how far up we are in the clouds that explains why we're not making progress at all. You see, when you know what I find crazy, we use a word in the black conscious community a lot called down talking. And it's crazy because you wouldn't say that. I mean, what would be the opposite of down talking? Up talking, right? So what I would say, if someone says that I'm down talking them, I say that I'm really ground talking them, because we have our head so far up in the clouds, Oshay, that people think I'm down talking them when I'm just trying to get them back on the ground. It's ground talking them, because we're not solving problems that we see tomorrow, because we talking about aliens that we think gonna come in the future. We so deeply immersed in pseudoscience that we have a false damn outlook on reality.
What should black people, in your opinion, because you said you watched some of my videos, you like some of my views on the black community, but today this is about you. What should black people, what should the black community be focused on moving forward? Because you talked about we're not living in reality, especially in the black conscious community, and I would suspect that's true of black Christians, that's true of black Muslims. But going forward, Brother Sanchez, what should black people be looking to do?
Black people, and here's the thing, people crucify me when I say this, but again, it's my attempt to ground talk people. Black people shouldn't do nothing. And hear me out. The concept of what we must do is an illusion. There's no such thing as we before I. So it's never what we must do, is what you gonna do. What the hell you gonna, if I say what we gonna do, that's false. We're never gonna do nothing. We never have, because we can't take an action until you take an action. until I take an action. But if everybody sit around for years and generations saying what we're going to do, that's what we're going to do. Sit around saying what we're going to do.
Let's talk about that in terms of the individualistic problems that each Black person has to contribute. Let's talk more about that. I know you talk about that a lot on your channel. Let's speak about it in terms of what I can do. Let's speak more about the I part.
What can I do, right? Mm-hmm. Now, what I'm doing is just what I'm supposed to be doing. I think if you can't, I think the first thing any person need to do, whether you Black or white, no matter what color you are, is lock yourself in a closet and don't come out until you're happy with who you are. And then after that, I think that you should go within yourself and figure out why it is you were born. We don't ask these questions. You know, a lot of people have so many things that they're willing to die for, but they don't know why they were born. The crazy thing about it with me is when you don't know why you was born, somebody else will give you a reason. You will actually become, you can actually live your whole life supporting somebody else's reason for being born than your own. And that's what I see in a lot of these conscious communities.
Let me talk about this, and I hope you don't mind. You were probably the first conscious community person that actually, I'm not saying you agree with everything that Sotomayor says. Sotomayor, no doubt, is a very talented YouTuber. He has a lot of great points. A lot of people are kind of, doesn't like the delivery. But you actually defended Sotomayor with a lot of his takes on the Black community, and you got a lot of backlash from that. Speak in terms of how that affected your relationship with a lot of people in the conscious community, and what was the result of your testament. And I don't know if you actually did an interview with him. Did you? I think you did, right?
Yeah, man. Tommy did a one-on-one.
Okay, let's talk about that and what was the one-on-one like, and what was the take of people. How did they respond to you after working with Tommy, and some of your things you had to say about him in a positive light? Tommy
proved me right. You know, when I came into the Black conscious community, I was a young man who I still admire all of those. Don't get me wrong. Let me say this. I admire the Black conscious community. I'm just not going to bite my tongue. Let me clarify this. I love the hell out of my kindergarten teacher, but I would question her and get on her damn nerves. All right. This kind of questioning is not wanted in religion. It's not wanted by the Black conscious community, because the things that we said that we've known for so long. And let me get on Tommy too, because I'm leading up to this. What I basically want to say before I get off track is that I reached out heavily to the Black conscious community. I'm an intelligent young man, and never got any responses until I started going against it, questioning their shit. When I tried to come with them, when I was hook, line, and sinker, they never gave me a response. But what I'm saying is I don't fault them for that. Out of my whole YouTube career, the only people to this day to respond to me who I actually sent the email saying, look, I want to collab with you. Well, actually, Tommy sent me an email because I made a video about Tommy, and I collab with Tommy. And you another channel right now, me and you. So when it comes to the Black conscious community, besides you two and my brother Logic from Food, Clothing, and Shelter, I haven't done no major collabs from people that's just from the Black conscious community. So Tommy proved me right that the main people they talk shit about be the ones who help you before all of these so-called pro-Blacks do. I've saw Tommy do stuff way more for the community than I've seen some of these big pro-Black, you know, Black conscious channels do. I've seen them take more than they give. So not nothing wrong with that. I think you should be compensated for your work and your effort. But what I think is I think it's very hypocritical. I don't think Tommy is some saint. I think that he exposed the double standards in our communities, because there's a lot of rappers today who got YouTube channels and Patreon set up, and they doing just what you doing, Oshay. And we're like the new school leaders. I don't know if y'all know, Willie D is into black consciousness, and a lot of ex-rappers. And some of these guys' channels are smaller than ours, so they're getting into this late. Now, a lot of people looking at black consciousness as a kind of hustle, I think, because they're just regurgitating. But I say that to say this. A lot of rappers are getting into this thing, and they're getting big on the black conscious scene. They don't get no flack. Tommy do, but it's strange that these rappers was just rapping about kill a motherfucker, bust their head, shake your ass, and the moment they say something that you agree with, they get a pass. Tommy say a lot of shit that you can't deny is truth, that we need to do in the community and all of that. Now, if you look at the most people who got problems with him, the problem that they got with him is how he do it.
Right.
So, you see what I'm saying? So if that's your only problem with him, I don't see nothing wrong with the brother. If you mean to tell me he's doing the right thing and your only beef is how he do it, it's cool, because it's a lot of ways to do surgery, but long as you save the damn life, that's what matters.
Well, that's an excellent answer. And you know, I'm not as I was as abrasive as Tommy, but I have my own little critiques of black people that don't come across very nice. And a lot of people don't like my particular delivery. Also, I think you are more dignified in your responses. But let me kind of go back to a lot of people, like shout out to Officer Faulkner, who was a distinguished member of the Baltimore City Police Department. Whenever he comes into the chat, I like to always acknowledge him for the good work he's doing out there in that city. He was breaking down the difference between, because a lot of people think that the conscious community and hoteps could be the same thing, but I'm not sure. Can you break down what the difference is? What does the black conscious community believe? And what is it different than the hoteps? Or is it the same thing?
I'm gonna be straight up with you. Mm-hmm. If you line 10 people up right now from any of them communities, none of them agree. So the only thing that they really agree on in all of those communities, because there's so many, man. I mean, it's subgroups within groups. We can get to the Moors, Hebrew Israelites, the 5%. It's so many of them. And even within those groups, all of them don't agree together. You know what I mean? So the one thing they all agree on is that the black man, black woman is God, the white man is the devil, and basically kill all whiteys. And that the root of all of our problems is the white man. Now that's where I come in and say the root of all of our problems is the black man, and that's when I get called a coon.
Let's talk about that, because I don't know if you know this. Before I answer this question, I'm one of the things that is a little bit different for me is I'm a black quote unquote conservative. I used to talk a lot of political things and climates on my channel, and one of the things that I never people used to always ask me was why I didn't talk more about white supremacy. Now, I never ignored that it exists. And I'm pretty sure as a black person from Alabama, you understand it exists. We would be lying to say that it don't exist. But your approach and my approach is to not get black people so much off the hook to point for a reason to have an excuse, but to change their own situation. Now, that's how I think I look at it and you look at it. But how did you come to that conclusion where the black man is his own biggest problem and not the white man?
Well, I came to that conclusion when I got into the black conscious community, and I saw a lot of, because when we talk about the black conscious community, if there was ever any solution to whatever problem we have, it'll start there. So that's why I'm going there now. And when I found out we was our worst enemy and began to open my eyes was when I found out we had a damn good library of knowledge on white supremacy, the problem, how we get in the ghettos, where the drugs coming from, how we even, listen, when you go to the Black conscious community, they're so thorough that they can trace this thing all the way back to what they call Kush, to where we fell under the white man. They go all the way back to Yaqub. They'll tell you that the whole history of this thing all the way up to the day. You look at people like Tariq Nasheed, you got 4 thorough volumes, and it don't stop there. We got thousands of books, hundreds of books, all of them that's telling us about the white man and how the white man is a problem. Now, we do agree, me and you, Oshay, that the white man is a problem and the black man is a problem, and that really what I'm going to say is the powers that be is a problem. What I mean is that there's a group of all color people that's working hand in hand to keep a group of all color people oppressed. That get me called a coon. But when I say the black man is his own problem, it makes no sense for us to be able to diagnose our condition but never treat it, never heal it. If you showed up to a doctor who just got rich off of teaching you the diagnosis and never healing you, you'll say that's a ripoff. But that's exactly what's going on in the Black conscious community.
Now let's talk about this a little bit more deeper, because again, I'm not an expert. And shout out to, I don't know if you've ever heard of a YouTuber named the Angry Man channel. You ever heard of him?
Yeah, I have heard of the Angry Man.
Yeah, the Angry Man channel spent several years in the conscious community, and when he doesn't really talk about it a lot, but when he does talk about it, he's like superiorly knowledgeable. It's almost like it almost started getting me to studying what some of that shit was. Not to call it shit, but what I get from him and what I get from you is that we have some of the same transparencies between like maybe the crookedness of black pastors and some of the fuckery with some of the black conscious leader elite with corruption. I know that you talked about this before, but let's kind of talk about what the black conscious community, where are the schools, where are the buildings, where is the money going, what happens to the people, how the black conscious community, how is it being funded, and what corruption goes on in between? Because I see the Sinetta versus the Sarah Sutton Seti. I see the Umar versus Sarah Sutton Seti. I see Polite against Young Pharaoh Allah. What's all of these problems if you can kind of put it together and the corruption that's going in between the black conscious community?
It's more like a network of guys that it's like you got to get their approval first of all to even get in. And what I think it is a bunch of these guys is just these are inner beasts. Some of these cats are cool, some of them not. They were definitely ripping the people off because in the black conscious community they're so dumbed down, and I gotta keep it real. Most of America's so dumbed down today that if you sound good, it don't really matter what you say. Mm-hmm. So what I see going on in the black conscious community is if you eloquent like a brother Polite, or if you roaring loud like a Seti, the shit you saying don't gotta make no sense. That'll actually pay your bills. This is the same thing the pastor's been doing. They just been that's why they call it preaching. It ain't teaching, And when you got preachers and not teachers, nobody learn everything. We just feel good, and they go by what I say when I say we too busy stroking our ego, so we not striking our enemy. You see what I'm saying? We satisfied with shit that feel good but don't produce good. So we in a walk where the next guy that'll be big in the community is the one that can talk that talk, walk that walk. These guys show up with a fucking fez on, with True Religion jeans on, talking about the damn beast they banging on when they supporting that beast with the people's money.
let's talk more about this because I want to know this because this is no shot at the Black conscious community, but when you look at, let's say, some preachers, right, like Dr. Martin Luther King, and once again, I know that these are like white colleges, but you know, Dr. Martin Luther King got a PhD from Boston University. A lot of Black professional preachers come out of even Howard University, things of this nature, esteemed colleges, both white and Black. When you look at the conscious community, though, many times what you see are people who are rehabilitated criminals. And shout out to somebody like Malcolm X, who is probably, well, Black consciousness. You can't say Black consciousness, at least to me, without mentioning Black Malcolm X. But when you look at a lot of people like Elijah Muhammad, you look at a lot of people, like maybe Son Netter, Brother Polite himself. A lot of these people, come out of a prison penal code system. And what you have is, at least with Black churches and some of the churches and universities that got started in the South, you have a lot of Black professional elite people who helped build those institutions. Booker T went to Hampton, started Tuskegee. You have a lot of Blacks who came out of these, schools and built Black communities. But when you look at the conscious community, one of the arguments is that a lot of these people come from prison, come from straight from the streets, and go to prison, and then they learn this particular knowledge, and then they enter in the conscious community. Now, what is your response to that?
Well, my response would be, that's one of the problems we always had in the Black community, not just the Black conscious community, being that a lot of Black men go to prison a lot in our communities, and when they get out, they get deified. It's a backwards type thing where when you get out of prison, you read a few books. Now shut up and listen to me because I got to tell you something. And it's like, no, you need to be listening because your ass the one in and out of prison. But in the Black communities, we put people on a pedestal who serve time, and we say that's the OG. We need to listen to him. And that's so foolish to me. And what happens is in the Black conscious community, when you got a bunch of cats coming out of that prison background, they got to understand that the books they give you in prison is limited to the same beast that you're supposed to be banging on, and you will only get back so far in your knowledge. You'll never get back to be fully free. That's why when you look at all these cats that's supposed to be institutionalized, they get out of prison, they done read a couple of books, they do good in the community, don't get me wrong, but overall, it perpetuates a cycle of stagnation. So overall, it does bad. Why? Because if we're not moving, we're losing. So cats can't move us forward with limited knowledge and with a prison type mindset. This is why we got so many cliques in the Black conscious community. You got so many cliques in prison. And these groups carry themselves like cliques. They got names like, I don't even want to mention them, but squads and teams and cliques and, I'm just making them up, red, black, green squad, RBG clique, and they got hand signs and handshakes and shit, bandanas. And you know what? It's so damn crazy that none of the shit they say got to make sense, Oshay, long as they homeboys say facts. Facts. Once they homeboys say facts, that shit a fact.
So let me ask you this. I know like if you go to church, right, and you decide I want to give my life to the Lord Jesus Christ. And once again, you guys are coming in, like the video, because we're going to go ahead and promote Brother Sanchez's channels here. We have 95 people watching. Do me a favor. You're coming in, hit the like button. All right, hit the like button when you're coming into the chat, people. So let me ask you this. When you go to church, they say, I want to give my life to God. They'll take you in the back room, right? They put you into a new members class.
Hey, Oshay, give me like 1 minute. I'm so sorry. Just
no
1 minute.
No problem. Go ahead, man. So you guys, while he's there, man, like the video, get the video up. This is actually, man, a really good interview that we're doing. And the reason why, I'm gonna tell you why I'm bringing people like Brother Sanchez, Sire New York, MGTOWs for Black men too. I agree. I actually had a MGTOW, Darius MGTOW was supposed to be here tonight, but for whatever reason, he was not available during the time. So shout out to Sire New York and another brother, Trio P.O. Cosby, whatever his name was. But I think that as far as this channel, we're trying to bring. It would be better to interview someone in the conscious community to better understand what we see and music someone like you about. That person didn't reach out to me. It wasn't that I wouldn't do it, but you gotta work with who's willing to work with you, man. So again, we bring the people who we can bring here to the show and to get interviews. So I appreciate everybody for opening your ears and opening your hearts to different people. This is what this channel is about. So you guys have questions, shout out to my man High Def. We'll take those. Now, after this interview, I'm gonna go and be on with Charles Tyler. All right, the Charles Tyler show in Brazil. We'll be giving some more information about that. Shout out to Poker. Shout out to Shy Shot Caller. You back? Bro Sanchez?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. But let me do this, Bro Sanchez. So hypothetically, I go to church, right? I decide I'm gonna give my life to the Lord. The pastor and all these take me back in the room. He just got the fuck up.
Yeah, I got people coming in and out. And I'm sorry about that, man. I'm sorry about that. I'm good.
There's no problem. So they take you to the back room, and then you go into a new members class, right? And then you go into this Christian orientation. You go to start going to Sunday school and shit like that. How does somebody get indoctrinated to the conscious community? You go to church on a certain day. I mean, how do you start getting into the conscious community? Like, you go to any black church and get saved and filled with the Holy Spirit and all of that, and people come study the Bible with you and shit like that, Jehovah's Witnesses. How does one get into what's the process like of getting into the conscious community?
There's really no set process for getting in the conscious community. It's almost like you just start watching these videos. And if you start making videos, regurgitating what you watch, just like the people who taught you the game, you can move up in the ranks. And it's who can spit the game the best and who can get the most followers. And then once you make it to Sonetta or on channels like that with the big names, they give you your stamp of approval. The whole conscious community, the teachers who are at the forefront of it, your Setties and all of them. For example, take Setty. Now, he admitted to being a Mason. I ain't going to get into that, but I do think there's some Freemasons in these communities. But what I'm going to say is this, they take a trip to Kemet, and that's their kind of initiation. You take a trip over there, it costs like $1,000. They do the tours every year. You go over there a couple of times, and then you receive some sort of certificate, some sort of stamp that say, okay, you can teach this stuff. And that's basically no different than like if you was living in Cali and you was living in a certain gang neighborhood and the OG say, okay, my little nigga, you can hustle on this block now. You got to get the OG permission to hustle on that block. So that's what happens. Like people have small channels, and then once they go to getting big, they get snatched up and get that permission, and you get these new teachers pop up.
So who is the biggest name to give you the stamp of approval in the Black conscious community? Who is the person that puts, for the most part, this person is the biggest name in the conscious community? Who is that person?
You know what I would have to say? I would have to say, no doubt, Sarnetta TV, and I give him his respect because he has more than one channel. He's got a lot of platforms. He basically controlled the narrative. There's a lot of more big cats like, of course, Seti and Pharaoh on the rise, where they basically done rose. Now, got to give them their props. But it, like I say, it's all consensus. If you can spit the game the best, some of these people that's cool don't agree with each other. You know what I mean? It's not really what they saying, it's how they saying it. And it's stand booked and selling DVDs. You know.
What about the Black conscious community before Seti? Because you had guys maybe like Dr. John Henrik Clark. You had other people before the new cats. Like Black consciousness and Black conscious community. Who came before Seti? Who were the teachers before then? Like I hear about Dr. Ben.
Yeah, Dr. Ben. You know, Dr. Clark. You got your teachers like Amos Wilson.
Yeah,
Amos Wilson. You got, you know, of course, the sister, Dr. Francis Crest. You got Dr. Barashango. You got a lot of people. It's a whole line that was doing it, who a lot of people don't even know about, who in the Black conscious community. I can keep going on and on with them. Dr. Asha Hillard, you know, but the thing is, what it is New York itself. New York is a big capital for media, hip hop. It's a place where Black people got ahead early because there was a migration up north where the so-called free Negroes went and the whole Harlem Renaissance went on. And, you know, the Harlem Renaissance was your foundation for what became hip hop, if you ask me, because you had the poets and the jazz music back then. But what I'm saying, to make a long story short, leading up to the early history of Black consciousness, it go all the way back. When we talk about Sarnetta and Harlem, this go back to the Harlem Renaissance, even before then, when Negroes was so-called getting smart going up north, and they still think they smarter than everybody today, to where anybody doing consciousness got to get a stamp from Harlem or a stamp from New York to be legit. Or if you're doing hip hop, it ain't real hip hop if it ain't from New York. But that's just that house nigga mentality. You know, master, let me make it up here first and play with the jazz and get the poetry while y'all was picking console. Niggas shut up and we own this and all. You know, that's why they got ahead first, if you ask me. Not to separate the people. Shout out to them.
Trill Country, this is serious live. Troll channel, man. Get me on this subject later. I know these dudes. I used to be on 125th Street. Okay, email me, man. planetoshay@gmail.com. Basically, another time, you know, we can definitely get you on. And thank you for the super chat. Let's talk about this, Brother Sanchez, because you said you like my view of the Black community. I'm interested to know, what is it about my view? Because we have different ways of how we probably got to where we are. But oh, Serious Live, what up, man? How should I see him? Okay. Serious Live. All right, yeah. Oh, he definitely knows, man. Yeah, dude. All you gotta do is email me, because you alter ego is Trill Cosby. Yeah, definitely, man. Shout out to Serious. Okay.
Hey,
so
I'm sorry to cut you off. Any of those guys, you know, that want to challenge me on anything I'm saying, you can tell them to email me at talktoBroSanchez@gmail.com. And I'm willing to talk to anybody from Harlem face to face about this.
do you live in New York now also?
I'm in Las Vegas now. I've been here for the past 5 years or so.
Oh, okay. What is it about my view of the Black community because you said you have you like my view of the black community. What is it about that you like it?
What I like is I don't really know much about your views. I hadn't watched enough, but I have heard about your channel for a while and been aware of your content. I've also watched a couple of your videos and tuned into a lot of streams. What I would say is, I just like the fact that you're not a yes man and that you're willing to say what needs to be said and let the chips fall where they may. And that's what I mean when I say, because one thing I go in on the Black conscious community about is worshiping man. And it reaches a point where the teacher can't be wrong. The teacher is God. And that's the thing, like, we got to be able to tell even our elders, look, you fucking up. Like, and we got to all be humble, and it can't be no male worship. So one thing that resonated with me is just your ability to, you know, speak up and say what needs to be said without being a yes man.
I appreciate that. And I think you're the same. I know you're the same way. And shout out to Stammer and Bidding for the $3 super chat. Let me ask you this, Brother Sanchez, because, you know, the conscious community talks heavily about worshiping Jesus, worshiping white Jesus. But what I think I'm seeing is that the conscious community wants to replace itself as Jesus. From what you're saying, is this true? Am I on to something, or?
Well, they tell you that if you was coming from any religious background, such as Christianity and the likes, the average Hotep cat will tell you you lost. You need to awaken to the knowledge of your ancestors, but they trap you there. And the big thing is you're not fully free until you you're not really free until you're able to question everything. So if you make it out of Christianity and find yourself into another belief system, you're not really free. You're not free until you your foundation is rooted on facts as opposed to beliefs. So what happens is the Black conscious community turned into a recruitment center, kind of like when you leave out of the Air Force recruiter office, the Marines be outside with KFC trying to lure you in their office and steal the Air Force recruits. And then they're going to try to brainwash you to tell you why the Marines so much better than the Air Force. No difference in the Black conscious community. You know, this is why it's so much better than whatever religion you come from, but it's still a religion. Just like the Marines is still a military force. They still recruit for the same entity, which is belief. Belief will never free the person. So if the truth will set us free and we're not free, we don't have truth.
Why doesn't the Black conscious community, I mean, I know that the Nation of Islam has its own schools and stuff like that. Are there going to be any schools being built to educate Black people, Black children on this? Are there any businesses that people in the conscious community are trying to establish to keep the money within the economics? I know Dr. Umar Johnson, who came out of Sa-Neter, from what I understand, talks a lot about where is the conscious community going with trying to build the nation inside the nation?
It's every man for themselves, and you got to create your cash cow. That's all I'm gonna say. That's what I see, because when you look up today, you see a lot of guys who had so much good to say about each other. Now they got so much bad to say about each other. This one's a scam artist, that was a scam artist, when y'all was all in business together just a minute ago. So we see what's going on here, where you can see recent videos where the conscious community called out Polite, but the people that called him out was guilty of the same thing. He actually made a video telling on them, saying, listen, if I go down, we all gonna go down now. So the cat get out the bag when they go to arguing. Just like when the whole Umar in the school thing. Now, me personally, no disrespect to Umar. For one, I don't think that it's a feasible thing. I think it's a cash cow. And number two, I think that it won't benefit the people, because to me, what it is not having a building that we own to just brainwash us with the same stuff that they already teaching us. You can teach truth out of your house and it'll do more for you than $1 million building.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you this, because Dr. Umar Johnson, is trying to supposedly start the school for boys. Now, black men in America, and obviously you're a black male, we don't have a lot of respect from our women. Black men have been accused of not building things. Do you think that black men need a school for themselves, like what Umar is trying to do? What's your personal take on how black men could be? I mean, where do you see black men in America, and how can we? As far as what Umar is trying to do you think that's the right approach?
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't say it's the wrong approach. What I'm saying is, ultimately, Umar will benefit way more than black men as a whole from the thing, because one school will not help the millions of epidemics we face. And I know it is a step forward, but I hate to say this, nowadays we need leaps forward. And what I find is that a lot of people are not willing it's just, to me, is this right here. Masons say we build our school in the hearts of men, or we build our religion in the hearts of men, some to that nature. So if we build these schools in the hearts of the men, guess what? We won't have to build a physical building. And that will actually spread quicker than all the people that can't afford to go to the school, because it's going to be limited. We got millions of black men. It's not going to be 1 million people going to that one school. Like I said, where we at today, we trying to fill up a damn swimming pool with tablespoons of water right now, if you ask me.
Let me talk about your experience as a Christian, because you talked about being in Alabama, and you were a Christian at first. How did you find out that Christianity wasn't real? I mean, I know Ray Hagan said some things and stuff like that, but how did you get proven that this is not real? And then how did your family feel when you broke away from Christianity?
Yeah, my family looked at me weird. They still do today, because like I said, that's the Bible Belt. But a lot of my young cousins, my brothers, they resonated with it, and none of them. But I was the one that really spoke out more about it. That's why I looked at like the crazy one. But when I first proved it to be true, after hearing Ray Hagan, I looked into it a lot. I looked into history, and it turned out to be true that there was a deity that predated Jesus by the name of Serapis Christus. And it is a historical fact that there was a Council of Nicaea that created Jesus. And I rather go with the historical facts as opposed to the mythological belief itself of Jesus. Mm-hmm. So that's when it resonated.
Now, I want to talk about the flat Earth, because you are a flat earther. Let me go to your page here, and I call a lot of your streams are actually videos. As of late, you've been really going on a great tangent.
What's up, Facebook and YouTube?
Oh, this is your thing here. But you've been going on a lot of flat Earth teachings. Can you tell us what the whole flat Earth theology or theory is about? Because a lot of people I'm not sure about what it is. I think that it's maybe different from round Earth. But really, what is flat Earth? What do flat earthers believe? What should we know about it?
Well, I'm going to say this, and not to sound cocky, but flat earthers have some beliefs. Let me just say that. But the foundation of flat earth is all factual. What you need to know about flat earth is this. There's no curvature, there's no spin to the earth, and no one can prove me wrong despite if you believe in the globe. Now, when you hear flat earth, the first thing we would do is maybe ridicule it, call it dumb. But we got to remember that the ancient ancestors were flat earthers. And here's the thing. I've been a flat earther now for a little over a year, and every globe earther that challenged me has failed. And like I said, there's millions of people who are flat earthers, college professors, military men, you name it, man, in all kind of fields of life, intelligent people, degrees, who are flat earthers. So it's actually an awakening more so than a movement. Just like we didn't always know about chemtrails, and somebody came and they was called a conspiracy theorist, but now they admit to poisoning us from the damn sky. We didn't always know about poisoning our water. A quote unquote conspiracy theorist exposed all of these things, the media hoaxes, the fakery surrounding September 11 and things like this. Even if you're not a quote unquote conspiracy theorist, you know that there's reason to doubt. But here's the thing. There's a lot we know that our government do that's straight up bullshit. They liars. They're not telling the truth. Really don't have our best interest in mind. My thing is NASA makes over $50 million+ a day, and we believe in space, but we can't prove it. When you go and try to find a picture of Earth, and I challenge you to do that right now, I can share my screen if you like. But my point is, you cannot find a real picture of Earth. You cannot find it. When you go to NASA and try to find it, they tell you, well, it's all CGI because it has to be Photoshop. Why? If you gave me $50+ million a day, I'll get you a real picture. And that's just so much around flat Earth. And it's hours of content I recommend you check out before ridiculing it. But anybody that want to go deeper with me on that, hey, my email is out there. Let's do it, you know.
You've actually debated people on Flat Earth live on your channel too, right?
Oh yeah, I have live debates on my channel all the time.
Let's talk about that. Shout out to Wake the Hell Up. Yeah, man. Thank you so much. And get the likes up, man. I know a lot of people are like, okay, bye. You know, here's the thing, you guys. And as black people, okay, sometimes people will have different thought processes than you. Okay, before you start to jump to the conclusion, and if you notice, I've been taught the world is round, but because you're taking in some information that you feel that you don't like, you automatically criticize it. And this is the thing about people. Everybody should be trying to grow. You know what I mean? And I think that whatever knowledge somebody is trying to bring to you, it's up for you to listen to what they have to say, whether you want to agree with it or not. Listen to what they have to say. Have an open mind. A lot of people don't want to have an open mind about certain things. Technically, because he's a conscious person, I'm a Christian, we shouldn't even be having a conversation. That's how normal Negroes act. But do you know what me and Brother Sanchez said? Let's build the conversation and let's do it. We're doing this for the people. All right? So we don't have to agree with everything, but your mind should be open to everything. Should be open to everything. Black people got to get out of automatically want to discredit somebody that has a different idea than you, because you can't elevate like that. All right. So I just wanted to say that. Let me continue on, Brother Sanchez. And once again, let me put Brother Sanchez's link here. Let me do this before we continue the video. Let's get him some subscribers here. You get a lot of emails. I want to email you about this topic here. So, brothers, Brother Sanchez, I put his link there in the description. I mean, in the chat. Do me a favor. Go ahead and click on his link. All right, and subscribe to his channel. Okay, and you will definitely have some good content. Go ahead, Brother Sanchez.
I just wanted to let you know to give them the Bro Sanchez live link. That's my other channel.
Okay.
And because the Bro Sanchez TV is under attack by YouTube for no other reason than me teaching the truth. But it's all about this flat earth thing. And that's another thing that ought to make people think flat earthers are actually under government attack. Like, it's got to be something we saying. Is if you want to ask me any questions about flat earth, I'll be free to answer any. I can give you the basic things that even made me say, hey, it's definitely flat, you know.
And actually, you streaming right now. You got more people on your channel watching than I have on mine. So he has 143 people. Shout out to the people on Brother Sanchez's live channel. Respect to you. It's the first time I actually been streaming while somebody else is streaming on my channel. So once again, I'm glad to meet those people over there. Let me ask you this, Brother Sanchez, because with respect to what we have here, because you found out that Jesus was not real, Jesus was factual, was a phony. Now, is the conscious community, is it one God that we believe in the Black conscious? Is it more than one God? Are there any deities? What are, I mean, when you were coming into the conscious community, what are the gods? Are there any gods? What is to be believed?
You know, one thing I teach is that gods are just guides. Gods are guides. They guide you down their teachings, down their path, and take you off of your own. So with that being said, like when we get into the Black conscious community, there's not really a lot of gods. There's a lot of guides. You have teachers that say they get their teachings from extraterrestrials. You have teachers that say, I don't deal with no type of deities. They call it real Black atheism. And then you also have your sun worshipers. That's the bulk of the Black conscious community, is sun worshipers. So that's pretty much the limits there. You, of course, you got your Yahwehs and your Moors and your religious people that will be in the Black conscious community. The only religious Black people that wouldn't be considered Black conscious community is Black Christians. And I think that's kind of crazy, you know, because even Black Muslims are considered part of the, you know, Black conscious community.
Okay, so let's talk about these people who have been kicked out of the Black conscious community. They've been rejected from what is maybe the orthodox Black conscious community, and it seems that there is a community being formulated between those people such as yourself. Now, is this also including other people being kicked out of the Nation of Islam, being kicked out of the Hebrew Israelites? These people who are being kicked out of the Black conscious community, they're being called coons and stuff like that. How big is this community? And is this community going to be growing soon? Is this community working together? Will they be putting on talks and debates and stuff like that?
What I would say is none of us are kicked out of the Black conscious community. All of us have graduated above it. Look at it this way, Oshay. Let's just say me and you are in prison and we're locked up 24 hours a day in a prison cell, right? And we want to get freedom, but we break out of that prison cell, but we never leave the prison yard. And let's just say I actually get in the car and leave away from the prison yard, but you only got out of the prison cell and you walking around the gates in the prison yard while I'm in the world. I'm free. You just free out of one cell and you still a victim of another imprisonment. So that's what happens is we come from different walks of life into the Black conscious community, but we should never stop there. And a lot of us are sincere enough to know that we never stop questioning. Those questions lead us out of there. When you stop anything, you become stagnant. So we never was rejected. We rise above that. There's a time and place for everything. It was only for a time and reason. A lot of us go through that community to go to higher levels. So it's a situation where we want to be fully free. I think you find yourself free when you find yourself in a community where you're able to just exercise simply logic and formulate whatever beliefs you want based on that without being scrutinized. But at the end of the day, when we talk about the coon, to sum that up, I would say if logic was a religion, coon would be the god of it.
Let's talk about this coon calling, because certainly I have been called that. You know, it's funny, I don't really get called that anymore by many people. But do you hear that word a lot still? I mean, because you seem like you have a very strong following. I mean, I'm watching your chat right now, and you have, I'm pretty sure this YouTube channel is not so large as the other, but you have like almost 150 people watching right now. Obviously, you know, a lot of people can't feel that you're a coon because you have a pretty thick, strong following. But who is calling you a coon? Why do you think they're calling you that?
Yeah, just like everybody got a name for people who disagree. I mean, the moment you start saying stuff that's anti-American, you're a terrorist. All right. When you start saying stuff that's anti-Jewish, you're anti-Semitic. Everybody got a label for, even if you go to California and you on a block with the gangsters, if you go to saying stuff that's contrary to that life, you're a mark. You know what I mean? Everybody got a name for it. So the Black conscious community ain't no different. If you disagree with aliens, if you disagree with the pseudoscience they teach, or even if you challenge it, because the word coon is used in so many ways. You can become a coon, man, for the most simplest shit. But like I said, it's just another label. It's never the labels that they give us. It's the ones we answer to. But if they want to call me a coon, I'll accept that label because that to me means free thinker.
Mm-hmm. Let me talk about certain other aspects here, because I want to spin this for a term, because I know that your mind is open to certain things, but how do you feel about a person that's Black? Can that person be conscious if that person is involved with a white person? And here's the thing, the reason why I want to talk to you about that. There's been a lady, and I was going to do a video on it, but I decided not to do. There's a woman that made a video about a white lady named Rubia Garcia, who is known as White Bae, and supposedly there are a lot of Black conscious community men who are saying that, you know, that she would be the only white woman that they would date. And this lady's name is China Fox. And there's been a kind of debate because you have some men in the conscious community who have procreated with white women, and they have you know, mixed babies. Now, a lot of conscious Black men may say these babies are still Black because they're Black. What's your theory on interracial dating and being conscious, interracial mixing and being conscious? And do you consider Black people who have babies with white people, the offspring, are they Black?
You know, I go about this with real science and logic, and I don't get my emotions, and I don't go with the pseudoscience that's been founded at the Black conscious community. I challenge it, and I challenge everyone to listen close to what I'm about to say. Could it be that we're all wrong? Could it be that we got it all wrong? Now, when I challenged a lot of people about the origin of the races, because this is an important subject, when we talk about interracial dating and race mixing, we want to go back to the origins of anything. So when I go there, I get called a coon because what I find is heavy deception. And what I mean is this. If you think of what we're called race mixing, there was never, ever, 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 ever a time on earth where humans didn't intermingle. And I'm going to prove it. When you ask most black conscious people, how did all of the races get here? They said they come from us. They said, some of them said we moved to lighter places and we mutated. And when we start having sex with the lighter people, but the most of them have the Yakub story, where some kind of way they say that our ancestors were so advanced, Oshay. They said that the white man ain't the only one know about genetic cloning and splicing and all of that. They said that's how the races got created, by the ancient black people was first manipulating DNA and creating races. So that's a popular story that even the Nation of Islam teach. So I'm going back here to reveal something here. If we had used our DNA to create another race, let's just say, I don't necessarily agree with that. I'm just using the popular belief. So if that is the case, and we created another race lighter than us, and we started interbreeding with that race to create all of the other races, okay, of some to that nature, then we're saying that the very creation of all the races is by interbreeding. Think about what I'm saying. Like, we're saying that all of the races get here by us interbreeding. Then we say it's wrong to interbreed. So it gets confusing right there. Where is the white man not your family? Where is the white man not your brother? If you say the black woman create all the races. If my mama give birth to all these children, even the albino one, for example, that's going to be my brother. So, I mean, not that I'm just naive. What I teach is that it's not necessarily races we need to worry about. The only two races is the haves and have-nots. All right, you got rich people of all races ruling over rich people of all races. That's what I see. But blind people from the black conscious community only see one race doing it all, and that's where they're blind.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So then let me ask. So I think I know what the answer is to this. If a person in the black conscious community is with a white woman, will they be called a coon, a sellout?
Yeah, they will, but it's a double standard because most black females with white men, they won't get called nothing. I think one of the famous females, Empress Sekhmet, I think she dated a white man. So, I mean, even Malcolm X is mixed. His mama was white, I believe, you know. So, I mean, it's just who we want to clown. I mean, if you come up speaking some sense and you're a threat to one of these pro-blacks, they'll point out the fact that you're with somebody else, and that's just mess. They'll never get into the good you may have done for your community. But these folks, okay, that's just like, for example, the rapper Prodigy just died. You heard about that?
Yeah, I know. I heard about that.
So you got all of these black conscious channels coming out with videos, and they, you know, Prodigy was so good for the community, and Prodigy, we got to keep it real. The brother was a goddamn murder rapper. The brother lyrics was responsible for a lot of men, you know, murdering up shit. I used to trip off Mobb Deep, Infamous Mob, and man, they got some grimy ass music and lyrics, you know? And so, I mean, now that when people die, we deal fine. What I see is that it goes back to what I'm saying. I ain't gonna mention the names, but the guy put a video out putting Prodigy on a pedestal, but he shitted on Tupac. And it's all about who's from New York. It's a New York type of thing. So if, like, again, if you're not in that clique, that can be used against you. But the same people using that against you, they have great master teachers who they can link to interracial situations. Some of these people teach that races don't exist. The word race was just created in the 1900s. So how did the ancestors identify each other? That's what I say.
Mhm. Let me ask you now, the flat earthers. I'm in your chat as you're doing it, like you have about 156 people um, that are there live in your chat. And my God, I mean, I didn't even know that the flat earth fan base was that strong. I keep seeing flat earth, this, flat. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? Now, to be a part of the flat earth, is it only a black thing? Or is flat
The,
earth racial? I mean, like,
yeah, the flat earth is not neither of those. The flat earth is a group of people who's united under exposing government deception. And when you talk about racists, we're so far beyond race in our evolution, in our spirituality. You reach a point where you realize that races are an illusion and there's no need to run. The powers that be are already at the end of that finish line. There is no race. Be still, open up your mind, see what's going on, understand that the white man who we're crucifying in a trailer park named Bubba, you know, he's still getting sprayed by chemtrails just like Ray Ray in the ghetto. While they killing each other, hating on each other, saying white power, black power, they both drinking vaccinated water. So flat earthers are a group of chess players, and not that the rest of the world are checker players, but you know, our limit of questioning never stopped. And if you agree, O'Shea, that we live in a matrix, then guess what? You will understand that some of us are more woke than others. Understand that if you live in a world of lies, the people that's the most awoke will be the most ridiculed.
I see. I'm learning a lot tonight. It's been a very, very good interview. Let me do this for those people who want to subscribe to Bro Sanchez live. Like I said, I'm on his actual stream now, and we're both streaming at the same time. I actually want to have him come back and do like a talk on the flat earth. It's not for me to agree necessarily what it is, but to hear what they have to say, to hear what he has to say, and to bring that knowledge to my platform, probably on my much larger channel, and just ask questions. And the reason why is basically, this brother is a good brother, right? He has a great channel, and he's in a whole new sphere of YouTube, and me and him just happen to cross paths. But once again, you know, we're both black men that see maybe some things very different, but some things very much the same. And one thing is, black men have to work together, you know, of all different sorts of ideas. You know, a lot of black men, we have that bad. You know, we don't, coagulate together. We don't really congregate together just because a person has a different set of beliefs. I think I'm above that. I actually know I'm above that. I have a particularly all black male audience, and I can't be the one to say, well, you know, black men don't work together if I'm not willing to learn from another brother who has some experience or some theories and things I know nothing about. So I'm actually going to ask him to come back and give a talk on the flat earth. And if people want to actually jump in and debate him about it, I'll ask him if he's willing to do that. But sure, I'll be definitely willing to do it. Bro Sanchez, would you actually be okay with that, or we could do it like we could stream it in both channels and you do it in that, and then you kind of give a talk on the flat earth, and then if anybody has any questions, they can actually jump in. Would that be okay?
That'll be excellent. I'm down to do that whenever you want to do it.
Okay, so let's set up sometime this weekend. And while you're here, let me do this. Those of you who would like to subscribe to Bro Sanchez live, there's a much bigger channel, but that channel he says being entertained. Go ahead and go on the link. Subscribe to him. Subscribe to his channel. It's a great interview. He's a very, very bright person, as you can see. He's a very sharp, very articulate. He waits for me to actually finish what I'm saying before he's thinking, you know, like he doesn't cut people off or nothing like that, like some people do. He's very, very bright, very good guest. Let's get him on, and then I'll be on with Charles Tyler on my next channel for you brothers who are interested in going to Brazil, living in Brazil. Is there anything else? I mean, for this particular interview, because I actually want you to come back Sunday, and let's do the flat Earth thing, if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, Sunday sounds good with me. And, oh, actually, yeah, Sunday does sound good. That's gonna be cool. And I want to say sometime I cut people off when I'm heated, but yeah, man, me and you, I guess we got a good vibe, man. I enjoyed it though, and yeah, Sunday's gonna be dope.
Okay, yeah. You know me, I'm not a very argumentative kind of person. I like to kind of soak it in. You know what I mean? I like to soak whatever a person is telling me that I don't know, because a lot of things you were talking about I didn't know, so I just couldn't speak on it. You know, so that's what I don't try to speak on things I'm very unsure of. I think anybody wise would do that. So Sunday, I'm gonna set it up now. David Lummark, thank you for the $5 donation. The super chat. Let me say this about Brother Sanchez, regardless of what you may think of his theories. He's a very humble person. He doesn't deal with any jargon. What up, POT? Email me, man. Shout out to Prophet. I got to get him on here too. He doesn't deal with jargon. He doesn't deal in bullshit. He doesn't deal with a lot of name calling or anything like that. He deals with what he believes is straight facts. A lot of black men don't do that. He was willing to come over here, and he was willing to work with us. A whole different demographic that's maybe different from what he's used to. He was willing to come on here and chop it up, and I applaud him for doing that, reaching out. You know, like I said, it's all about black men trying to work together, trying to build each other up, not build each other down. So, brother, I really thank you. You taught me a whole lot tonight. I learned a lot tonight. I expect to learn a lot on. Hold on a second. Get between the lines out of here. Hold on, stop the show, bro. I gotta roast somebody real quick. You motherfucking nigga. I mean, this bitch ass nigga between the lines. Nigga, I told you to get your broke ass out of my chat talking shit. Now I'm about to boot you the fuck out here like a goddamn football. I'm tired of you dumb ass niggas. Let me don't boot him yet. Let me get his ass. Stop the fucking show. Yo, broke ass nigga, I told you. See, POT got him. I couldn't even get. I wanted to get his ass. I'm sorry. Let him stay gone. Let him stay gone. And I'm telling you, man, you niggas. No. Oh yeah, we brought him back. Yeah, bring him back. Cause I'm gonna ban him again. I'm sorry. Bro Sanchez.
No, I already know. I know.
Bring your bitch ass here. Stop the fucking show. You know, I turned your dusty, rusty, crusty, and musty ass to get your punk ass out of here. You stay in every motherfucking chat talking shit. You ain't got no job. You probably walking around with Fila sandals, no socks, feet stinking, you musty fat bitch. Okay, now go ahead and ban him. You can ban him again. Y'all can go ahead. Whoever want to get him first. Get his ass out of here. I'm gonna tell you motherfuckers. POT, you can ban him now. I know you want to. Because you know I got a figure. I'm gonna get you motherfuckers out of here talking that motherfucking shit. I'm tired of you niggas. Sorry, punk motherfuckers. I'm sorry, brother. Since I was anyway. Shout out to God bless him. I mean, whatever you believe, brother. So I look forward to you. Thank you for your audience that was able to come here tonight to hear us both. Shout outs to this. But now this is the real Oshay. Also, okay. So so many people already know who I am as it is. So shout out to everybody, man. Appreciate you guys. Let's work and build up this flat Earth debate. I don't really know what the hell is really about too much. If you guys want to jump in on it, I will actually open up my stream for those who want to debate the other things. So thank you. Anything else you want to say, Brother Sanchez?
Hey, let me just say shout out to your subscribers, my subscribers, And shout out to you, my brother, man. This again was excellent. And before we get out of here, let me just say I wasn't watching my chat, people, because I just set this up real quick. So I'm gonna stay streaming, and y'all stay with me for a minute.
Okay, cool. So stay streaming, man, and I'll come over there. I subscribe to your channel. For those brothers that's in the chat, me and Charles Tyler will be on. He's right now in Brazil. So for those who are interested in getting to the Brazil shit, we're gonna rock that way. Once again, thank you so much, brother, for coming by. Sunday, let's link up and we'll get it started. All right.
All right. Peace out, my brother. Much love.
Peace, man.